Antisocial acolytes.
So this is about the labor shortage going on in America right now. As you know, post-pandemic, there's so many places with so many job openings because they laid so many people off, and the jobs that are open refuse to pay people a living wage. So
No, they're just taking government handouts. They're just lazy. Everyone's lazy.
they're just taking that unemployment money that half the states fucking canceled for some reason because they want people to get back to work. Fuck it. But this is a very liberal article. So for our right-wing viewers out there right now, I do want to say, here you go. Here's an olive branch for you. But you probably don't disagree with it. So this is saying, as the labor shortage gets worse, why not tap more immigrants? Let's look here. This is the Dallas Morning News from an outline, so I don't have to pay for it. A restaurant worker cleans a table at Beto and Son at Trinity Groves in Dallas. Nationwide, hotels and restaurants had over 1.2 million job openings in May, about 440,000 more than before the pandemic. Employers believe that more immigration could alleviate the labor shortage. The U.S. had over 9.2 million job openings in May, the highest monthly number on record, and many employers complain about the difficulty of finding candidates. So why aren't we boosting immigration to ease the labor shortage? Foreign-born workers have been critical to Texas's rapid growth for decades, keeping the great jobs machine cranking, in which people are paid minimum wage and exploit. Oh, that's not in the article, sorry. In May, they accounted for nearly 23% of Texas's non-farm workers, almost 6 percentage points higher than the share nationwide. They're more heavily concentrated in certain sectors, including manufacturing and hotels and restaurants. Those fields have also seen the largest numerical increase in job openings since the pandemic. We're having tremendous difficulty recruiting people, and the younger generation is not applying for jobs. He's about 170 employees and wants to hire 25 more. He raised pay rates by about 25%, he said. Yeah, he claims. And many competitors have closed, yet workers haven't come back in large numbers. He cited the hard work required and employees' sense of betrayal over layoffs in the early days of the pandemic. Basically, they're just saying we need to continue to use immigrants as a tool to alleviate the labor shortage. And me and Cayman have maybe a slightly different view of this, but
I mean, no. I'll go ahead and lay out how you feel about this first.
So I have an issue with this because specifically this article. Of course, I don't have any issue with immigration as a concept at all. I don't think we should stop immigration. In fact, I think the world would be better if there was more immigration. But this article is fucking racist as fuck. And let me explain why. They're talking about Mexican immigrants. Let's be honest there. That's who they're referring to. They talk about the hospitality industries. They talk about, construction. And if you look at the data, it's very clear that Hispanic immigrants are the ones they're referring to specifically because they make up the largest share of those industries, at least in the stats they're giving here. So with that, they're basically saying America has a problem because Americans don't want to work these hospitality jobs or these construction jobs or these dirty jobs is the term that they would the elite would use or just liberals in general, honestly. So their solution to that is bringing in more immigrants, Hispanic immigrants or Mexican immigrants to fill that gap. That is very fucking dehumanizing. And this rhetoric is spread all the fuck around. All the time I hear this. Oh, they do the jobs nobody else wants to do. They do the jobs nobody else wants to do. Oh, America has a problem. Let's make immigrants solve it while we fucking demonize and shit on them the whole time. There's a labor shortage in a lot of industries, but here they're making the argument they should get in the hospitality and construction industries. But one of the most undiscussed injustices I really see, specifically on the liberal side of things, is immigrants are only good for doing work. That's all they're good for. They're not people. They're not escaping political oppression in their countries. Unless it's an election year, then they're doing that. Then that's okay to talk about. But 99% of the time, they're just like, oh, look at these immigrants. They contribute to work. They help raise the GDP. They help do this. They help do that. Which is good. Which is okay. That's fine to make the argument that immigrants have a good effect on the economy, right? But how about we talk about immigrants who have led social change? How about we talk about how immigrants have families they need to feed, right? How about instead of thinking about what immigrants can do for us, we think about immigrants as people that need help. We think of immigrants as people who can, of course, help the country. And it's great to bring up immigrants who have started businesses, stuff like that. But all too often, that's all I ever hear is immigrants are good because they work for us and they take the jobs that nobody else wants to do. And that is fucking dehumanizing as fuck. This article perpetuates that, and it's basically saying, hey, well, Americans don't want to do it, so let's get freaking Hispanic people to do it because that'll solve the issue. And that's, I guess that's my argument on that.
So my problem with this is it is a very liberal way of tackling the issue, very dumb lib brain thinking. Instead of, maybe pushing for incentives for workers in America to come back and work these jobs, i.e. raising the minimum wage, adding better working protections, pushing for a more solid unionization system in America, they're like, let's use this immigrant labor, which is not the first place our mind should go when looking for solutions. But to look at a little nuance on that sort of way of thinking about it, another big problem that we face in addition to unemployment is underemployment. So a lot of people in America, native-born citizens, are working jobs that they have the skills for, they have the desires for, but they are stuck and can't work anything besides a job at like a McDonald's, or can't move up because they are in an impoverished, they come from an impoverished situation where they can't just go to college. Because like going to college to get the skill set and degree to get more professional jobs is very difficult for people in impoverished situations. So there's a lot of people who are underemployed in America, and given that now having these immigrants that do come in and work these lower skilled jobs can be, in my opinion, is good in the short term because it can allow for, it won't in the way that our system functions, but it could allow for native-born citizens to work possibly more jobs that are suited for them and what they want to do, but that also would have to coincide with making college more accessible for Americans. So it's, in my opinion, it can be good in the short term, but as you said, it perpetuates capitalism. It's a very Keynesian economic way of thinking about it. It's purely another strategy to save capitalism from the inevitable, its cycle of crashes that we have seen throughout history. And this is another way to alleviate that, which is what a lot of what Franklin Roosevelt's policies with his New Deal were about, and alleviating and helping to preserve capitalism rather than go in a more socialistic direction. But I do feel that it can be, immigrants coming in, it can be beneficial in the short term, and it's definitely not a reason to prevent immigration, in my opinion. But it's disgusting when people word it in the way they're wording it, as they are. They're, as you said, completely dehumanizing them and purely using them for their labor before thinking of other, more logical ways to get native-born Americans back to working jobs in America.
Really, it's just disgusting to see the neoliberal media and just liberals in general view immigrants as a means to an end, as opposed to looking at America as a means to means for immigrants. Again, I've said this 500 times already. I have no problem with immigration, obviously. That's not the argument I'm making at all here. But it's just disgusting to see the logic that they use to justify it. And I understand when dealing with right-wingers, they don't really care, no matter what, really. But they think they have to bring up arguments that the righties will understand, which is, immigrants are great. And you do see some right-wingers use that. That's probably the most pro-immigration thing they'll say is, oh, my father was an immigrant, so I don't hate immigrants, I like legal immigration. Which, fortunately, right-wing discourse has moved on to pretty much only shitting on illegal immigration, as opposed to legal immigration, which they haven't really done that in a while. Shed on actual legal immigration. I'm sure some people in the right have, but for the most part the discourse is just going to be solely about illegal immigration on the right. But still, I'm going to go on another tangent here real quick. Another thing that pisses me off is neolibs especially like to conflate legal and illegal immigration using the same logic, but with that you also end up kind of just fucking over everyone, because in trying to advocate for a DACA, pretty okay program. It could have been more generous towards the childhood arrivals, but it was pretty good, pretty solid. It was a step in the right direction. And people will say, oh, DACA is good because it's, it helps people come in the country. And it's yeah. But then they flip it and then they try and conflate legal immigration and illegal immigration. And instead of having just oh, we're pro-immigration. They get the Republicans to say, oh, he means illegal immigration, which is, usually not true. Usually there's not a politician saying they are in favor of illegal immigration or whatever. But since they conflate the two, it's easy for right-wingers to get behind that and say, yeah, Hillary Clinton does like illegal immigration. Yeah, you're right. Because that's what the neoliberal establishment does. It creates confusion. It's basically, it hurt itself in its confusion. Basically, it makes life harder for legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, because like programs like DACA and stuff just get conflated among the right-wing discourse. I wish I had a little stronger of kind of like a case on that, but I'm sure you kind of, people just say, oh, Trump hates all immigrants. And it's like, well, Trump really only rallied against illegal immigrants. And I'm not here to defend Trump, but I mean, that's what Donald Trump talked about. That's what the wall's for. The wall wasn't there to keep legal immigrants out, I mean, I'm sure it definitely, anti-illegal immigrant rhetoric can hurt legal immigration as well. I'm not going to disagree with that. But whenever they conflate the two, they say all Republicans hate immigrants. I see in the comments all the time, they're like, no, I hate illegal immigration. And it's like, that's still fucked up too, because they're still people, of course, and they should be treated humanely and not paid fucking $2 an hour. Basically, my whole point on this, in this ramble, is that the neolibs really don't know how to talk about immigration. And whenever they do, they come off as very classist and a lot of the times racist, and they don't really help their cause, is kind of the point I'm trying to make.
You want to know who definitely exploits illegal immigrants for their labor? Donald Trump, actually. Had a lot of, I believe, Polish illegal immigrant exploitation on his Trump Tower construction or something like that. I might be getting the details wrong.
Yeah, he didn't pay him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very swell dude, very
consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I wasn't trying to defend him earlier. I was just trying to.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Donald Trump loves illegal immigrants because they helped build Trump Tower. What if that's what he said at the RNC in 2016? He's like, illegal immigrants are people and should be valued. They helped build my tower.
Yeah.
Pretty base. That would be pretty. I'd vote for him after that. They expect immigrants to have lower standards. They expect to be able to exploit them. It's despicable. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, on what Cayman was saying about underemployment, it's true. They're like, well, you're not really one of us, so you have to work at McDonald's. And it's like, I have a college degree in fucking neurophysics. I don't know. That's true. Immigrants are very underemployed a lot of times. Luckily, they also make up a good portion of the good jobs, like doctors, stuff like that. I don't remember what the exact numbers are. So I would agree though that underemployment within the immigrant community is definitely really bad.
Hey, if you enjoyed that, then make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it, ring the bell, whatever the hell, and get ready for the next Antisocial Acolytes stream this Wednesday coming up. We stream on Wednesdays. That's a thing we do. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe for that.